Have you ever wondered why talented people leave great jobs, or why some of your most promising team members suddenly go quiet or stop putting themselves forward, or even worse, just quit? It's often not about pay, it's not about workload or the boss. Because today I want to talk about a very silent saboteur that's costing organizations millions. It's derailing careers and quietly killing leadership pipelines. The imposter syndrome. Hi, my name is Emmi Kavander. I am a transformative neurostrategist and executive coach. I have over 15 years of experience in corporate leadership and psychology, including senior roles at an international stock-listed business and working with CEOs and business owners across 5 continents. And by the way, I've had my fair share of personal experience with imposter syndrome too. Now, I'm not here today to give you a pep talk or tell you just to believe in yourself, because that's not what it's about. I want to show you with hard data and real stories how imposter syndrome is a leading cause of staff turnover, lost productivity, and missed opportunities for organizations and individuals working in them alike. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot it, understand its true cost, and most importantly, what you can do about it as a leader. Now, but first, what is imposter syndrome and why does it matter? Imposter syndrome isn't just self-doubt, it's a persistent belief that you are not as competent and as good as others think, and you fear that at any given moment you might be exposed as a fraud. Now, it's not rare. Nearly 3 in 5 workers report experiencing it at work, and 71% of CEOs in the US say that they have felt it too. So it's not a junior issue, it's not a female issue, it hits every level, every gender, from new hires to the C-suite. There's a few key symptoms in professional life. One is chronic over-preparing and perfectionism, which then again leads to burnout and inefficiency. There's the reluctance to speak up, share ideas, or take on new challenges. There's the difficulty of accepting praise, because you'll just be attributing success to luck or external factors. And then there's the fear of being found out as a fraud, even with a strong track record of achievement. So how much does imposter syndrome actually cost organizations? So we're talking money. Staff turnover and retention. Imposter syndrome contributes to 12% of job quitting decisions and 26% of employees who leave cite it as a factor. For women in the C-suite, turnover is even higher. 24% leave within 2 years, often linked to imposter feelings. And we all know that replacing an employee can cost up to twice the annual salary, plus the lead time, plus all of that. So it's costly. Then there's the loss in productivity. Employees with imposter syndrome lose up to 10 full days of productivity per year due to over-preparing, second-guessing, and perfectionism. And 41% of employers see a direct loss in productivity from imposter syndrome. So it's hitting on both sides of the equation, and both can feel it. There's the burnout and absenteeism. 53% of employees experience stress, anxiety, or burnout tied to imposter syndrome every single month. And Gen Z workers take up to 2.6 extra sick days annually due to these effects. Now, you also have stalled talent pipelines, because 45% of employees avoid promotion or new challenges because of imposter syndrome. So imagine having all this talent pool that you worked hard to get, that you want to promote, but they're just afraid of taking it. This means that you as an organization are missing out on developing your high potential talent, especially from underrepresented groups, because imposter syndrome does typically hit hardest there. Then there's the diversity and innovation suffer. When people don't feel safe to contribute or to step up, organizations lose out on diverse perspective and ideas. But the thing is that even though we now know all these bad things that imposter syndrome does, it's actually a sign of a healthy brain. We just need to learn how to work with it. Because imposter syndrome, while obviously very uncomfortable and unproductive, is a sign that your brain is working as it should to keep you safe. At its core, these feelings of self-doubt and hyper self-assessment, they're actually rooted in the brain's natural protective mechanisms. While you experience imposter thoughts, your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for self-reflection and executive function, becomes highly active. It's going to be scanning for potential mistakes or threats to your social standing, and this heightened self-monitoring evolved to help us avoid risks and maintain our place within a group, which was crucial for survival in our evolutionary past. So I always like to say you can blame the caveman. So in essence, imposter syndrome is your brain's way of urging caution, encouraging you to double check your work, prepare thoroughly, and avoid complacency. So the intent is positive. It's a built-in safety system. It's designed to help you avoid failure and to maintain social bonds and strive for excellence. While it can sometimes tip into unhelpful anxiety or perfectionism, the presence of imposter feelings is a marker of a healthy, adaptive mind, one that actually cares about growth, about learning, and belonging. We just need to learn to work our ways and make it work for us, not against us. And recognizing this positive intent can already be quite empowering. So instead of seeing imposter syndrome as a flaw, you can reframe it as a sign that you're pushing into new territory, you're challenging yourself, and that your brain is simply trying to protect you as you grow. So with the right strategies, you can harness this energy for self-improvement rather than it to hold you back. Concretely, how does imposter syndrome show up at work? Here's a few examples. We want to make this real and how it might look in your team or in yourself. I've seen this high performer who never applies for a promotion, convinced that they are not ready yet. There's the manager who overworks, never delegates, and burns out trying to prove themselves. There's the team member who never speaks up in meetings, even when they have great ideas, the ones that you really want to hear. There's the leader who can't accept praise, always deflecting success to luck or the team. The remote worker who feels invisible, overcompensates, and works late to prove their value. Now here's an anecdote and a real-world example. I once coached a brilliant project lead. Let's call her Sarah. After landing a major client, she told me, no, it was just luck. Anyone could have done it. The same week, she turned down a promotion because she said she wasn't ready. Now, multiply that by hundreds or thousands of employees that you have, or also the amount of time that encounters that kind of a situation in your own life, and how that multiplies, and you'll see the scale of this challenge. Why leaders really must care and what's at stake. Now, if you are a leader, ignoring imposter syndrome isn't just a personal risk or one to your team, it's a business risk, like money-wise, because it quietly erodes morale, engagement, and trust, and it drives your best people out the door, or it keeps them from reaching their potential, because again, they're turning down the opportunities that you're trying to give them. It's going to stifle innovation and diversity of thought, and it increases costs because recruitment, absenteeism, loss of productivity. Aren't we all working to actually get better at those all the time? So the bottom line is that if you want a high-performing, resilient, and innovative team, you must address imposter syndrome head on. But, so what can you actually do? There's 6 things that I recommend doing. The first thing you can do is to normalize the conversation. 94% of workers haven't discussed imposter feelings at work, often out of fear or embarrassment. Now, since we know how common it is, chances are that you have your own experience with it as well. So seek the conversation also within your team and share something from your own experience. As a leader, you will then create psychological safety and reduce the stigma. 2, you can train managers to spot the signs. You can look for things like chronic over-preparing, reluctance to take on new challenges, or difficulty accepting praise. the things that we talked about earlier in this video. You can also encourage open dialogue and check-ins about well-being and not just performance. 3, build a feedback-rich culture. Give specific constructive feedback and not just good job, but what was done well and why. Celebrate wins publicly and encourage peer recognition, not just you as a leader celebrating the wins of your team, but actually peer recognition and peer celebration of wins. Make sure that you support career development and proactively encourage team members to apply for stretch roles or projects. You can also offer mentoring and coaching, external or internal, and especially do this for underrepresented groups. 5th thing to do is addressing perfectionism and overwork. Model healthy boundaries and self-care. And if you need help with how to actually do that, get that help to show your people how they can do this. Reward also some smart risk-taking and learning from failure and not just flawless execution, so that we all see that we all make mistakes. And then, last but certainly not least, invest in mental health resources. Provide access to coaching or therapy or workshops on imposter syndrome and resilience. It's something I do all the time, and it makes such a big difference in such a short time. So we know now that imposter syndrome is not a personal flaw. It's a predictable and very widespread response to high expectations and change. And I guess you would probably agree that the expectations in our world towards us is an ever-increasing story, and change is the only constant. So if this is left unchecked, it's a silent killer of potential, performance and retention. So eventually for the business. But as leaders, we all have the power and possibility and responsibility to break that silence and to build confidence and unlock the full talent in our teams. If you feel that you're ready to move beyond self-doubt and limiting beliefs for good, one good way to start is that I invite you to explore my online course, Beyond Limits. It's an affordable, step-by-step program that is immediately actionable, where I guide leaders through proven neurostrategies and mindset shifts to break free from what's really holding you back, so that you can unlock the full potential and create lasting impact in yourself, but also your team. You'll find the link in the description below. And of course, if you found this video valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also share it with a friend. I'd love to see you again and support you on your leadership journey. Until next time, stay courageous and keep pushing beyond limits.